Metairie for New Orleans Saints training camp. Had a great opportunity to catch up with all three quarterbacks and AK and Mickey Loomis, Cam Jordan. But the guy that I wanted to talk with was Kellen Moore, Saints head coach, new head coach, young guy, and he is taking over a job that's probably not the most desirable, like when you look at it from afar, because of the roster where it is, some of the age of the roster, some of the draft choices that haven't worked out. But he certainly wanted the challenge, embraced the challenge, and we caught up with him yesterday, and we asked him how the experience has been so far.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been awesome being back here in Metairie in Louisiana for training camp with the heat and the humidity. It's been really, really a great thing for us. And so this has been an awesome training camp being here, getting into our routine. We got a great group of guys.
I was just going to ask you, I see, you got some family members here. How do they like the heat and humidity of New Orleans when they go out there?
Yeah,
they getting used to it?
They've gotten used to it. They love it.
Not too much different from Dallas.
Yeah. We were in Dallas for a long time, and so certainly there was humidity there, and so we're good.
And by the way, I've been at Philadelphia Eagles training camp in July and August. It's not that great there either, by the way, just because it's in the Northeast.
Most places around the country have some degree of this.
So let's talk about this. You end up in New Orleans, and when you take the job, there's an assumption that you have a quarterback. That changes. I know that's a detail because if you're here long enough, you're gonna go through that. Why New Orleans? Why'd you end up here?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest aspects of it was the people. You get to know the organization, the people who have led this group for such a long time, and led by Mickey and his personnel department, Mrs. B. They're amazing. They're awesome people. This organization has been run the right way for a long time, and so anytime you're around really good people, you got a great chance of having success.
One of my favorite things about you, no matter who the quarterback's been, and they've all had different styles in Dallas and L.A. and Philly, y'all have been successful. So when you have this quarterback battle like this, and you've got you and Doug and Scott, and y'all have all played the position in the NFL, like what are you looking for the Saints starting quarterback, and kind of what are those conversations like between the three of you?
Yeah, I think a lot of it, you start with the physical component. Obviously, we all have to see that, and we can all see that. I think all these guys are capable of making all the throws. It really comes down to the command of the offense, the communication, the consistency. These guys are going to make mistakes in training camp. I hope they do, to be honest, just because you got to see how they respond, because that's how this deal goes. And in season, you're going to have to deal with some ups and downs, and the guys who can handle that the best are the best guys in this league. So
let's help make some news. You want to name your starter right now? I'm not going there. But tell me about the process. Do you have a timetable in mind to name a starter? How do you get them all enough reps to truly evaluate them? What's the process?
Yeah, so we're beginning early in training camp, rotating the three guys and giving them all different opportunities. And really, ultimately, the reps are balanced. First group, second group, and third group, they're all getting the same, similar reps. And so we're trying to get these guys with as much exposure as we can. We know as we shift gears towards the Chargers' first preseason game, we're going to have to narrow the focus, create a little bit of a pecking order, and then from there, we will adjust. And whenever we make that decision, obviously, the sooner you make it, awesome. But if it takes us all the way through training camp, we'll take it all the way.
If I took quarterback off the board coming into training camp this year, and I know you had some roster movement with Tyron deciding to retire, but which position group are you looking forward to seeing maybe who rises to the top? Maybe that competition to see which guy can end up being the best.
Yeah, the one in general group that I'm just really, really excited about is our defensive back group. We have a younger group back there, Justin Reed coming in. Then we get Julian Blackman. These corners, a lot of young guys who've played some football in this league, but they're all ready to rock and roll. And so, that group, the energy, the juice, they're all ball guys. They all attack the football and create turnovers. I think we got a really special group back there. If we can get these guys starting to play together and spend time together, they can create a really, really good group back there.
Let me just jump back to the quarterback for a second, because you played the position, so you understand the importance of getting comfortable. And you talked about the timetable. You're going to let it play out on its own.
Yep.
But knowing what's required to get ready for the start of the season, getting in their heads, how important do you think it is to get something done, hopefully sooner than later, so they can get in the mindset of starting week one?
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Certainly there's roles that ultimately we have to have defined for these guys, and we'll get there. And so, it's important that, once we get there, these guys understand their role, they're continuing to compete, continue to get better. But we'll let this thing play itself out. I truly believe a lot of times, these QBs, they're going to figure it out. They'll sort it out themselves, and we'll go from there.
I know this, too, having been out here when Drew was the quarterback out here. quarterbacks like to compete amongst themselves. He always had a competition after. Whatever it was, we'd watch. Sometimes it was with some of the members of the Pelicans that were out here doing things. Do these guys have little competitions amongst themselves?
Oh, no doubt. Every day at practice, we were bowling yesterday as a team, and those guys quickly ended up all in the same lane, and there's a little bit of a competition going.
It doesn't, Kellen, organically, like the team, you'll kind of get an idea of who that guy is because you're not trying to script it, but it just kind of happens. Like the guys start to kind of rally around who they think is going to be the guy.
Yeah. Again, a lot of times this thing kind of sorts itself out organically over the course of time. We have a really good group. These guys are all awesome. The thing I loved about this quarterback room is all these guys have faced adversity in their life through their college careers, and certainly even in the NFL. And so that's a big part of this. You're going to have to face adversity in the NFL. You're going to have to face challenges. And when these guys just keep it moving, they're going to be successful in this league.
He asked you about groups, and you went to the secondary. I'm interested in another group that you didn't talk about yet, the offensive line, because there's a big investment with first-round picks up there. Great to have two tackles that are young and can develop up there. Let's talk about that group and the role they can play with whoever it is, a young quarterback, and how important the running game will be.
No doubt. That was one of the attractive things to this place is, I was in Dallas as a player and coach. I was in Philly, even in Los Angeles for a year. It's like the investment has always been on offense and defensive line. And if you have that investment up front, you're going to give yourself a chance to win each and every week. And Mickey's done that for a long time here. And so we continue to do that, being able to draft Kelvin in the first round. And so we feel like we got a really, really good group. These guys got to spend time together. They got to invest this time together, get all the nonverbal and verbal communication. Because when those guys can play at a high level, we can do anything.
All right, we talked a lot about quarterback here. Let's go to the most important position, running back. Okay,
there we
because
go.
As impressive as the quarterback tree is for you, you've had some running backs too in Dallas and certainly in Philly, and you've got one here in AK. He's a 30-year-old guy. I know that's older for a running back, but he has more tread than I think people realize with how he's kind of handled his career. Last year he was a really good player, but just what does it mean for whoever the quarterback is to have 41 sitting next to them and all the things you can do with him as a player?
Yeah, AK is one of the best in this league and been that way for a long time. Yeah. And so his ability to play in the run game and the pass game, it's just impressive. It's impressive to be out here spending time in training camp watching him run the football, his vision, his cuts. It's really, really special, and we expect a huge year out of him. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Jacob tries to bring it back to the group he knows, but there's no fullback on the roster. So I still think he's out of his comfort zone, isn't he?
No. See, what y'all miss is Kellen on the side told me that they're going to, maybe make a tight end a fullback, and he's going to put him in a 40 number, and it's going to look the same. That's just a side conversation.
Yeah, we got to hold a couple things back.
I know you made a point of this, I think at your introductory news conference, that you're going to be calling plays.
Yeah.
And I've always said, when guys get head coaching jobs, I remember talking to Mike Zimmer about this, and he said, look, it's why we got the job.
Exactly.
Why would we give up that responsibility? Yeah. But now you have a lot of other responsibilities. How is that working for you, making sure that you can handle both of those responsibilities?
Yeah. It's been obviously a big experience for me, just navigating the time management is a huge aspect of it. Letting other people do their job and just trusting them and letting them go. I'm fortunate from an offense perspective to have Doug with me, who's been with me really since Dallas in 2018, and so we know each other so well and have some experienced guys around us. Scott Lenahan, Brandon Staley, been head coaches in this league. Certainly Mickey, Jeff, all those guys in the personnel department you can lean on, and so we got a really special group here.
I do want to keep going around the roster real quick because the tight end group, I think, it can be a special one, but you've had some injuries and you're waiting maybe on Taysom, and you got Foster Moreau as well. It's kind of battling injuries. Where's the health right now with that group? Because when they're full strength, it's a completely different group than you have out there right now.
Yeah, no doubt. We're certainly navigating the injury thing from the tight end perspective because those guys are going through that. We got some really good players, though. And obviously the timelines will all be different for those guys, but all those guys are going to have impacts on our team this year.
Real quick, two things before you go. The balance of keeping the guys healthy to start the season and putting them through some tough work here. All coaches have to manage that, and you learn from the guys that you were with before. What's your philosophy on it?
Yeah. We're building this thing as we go, and certainly, you got to lean into the sports science, the sports performance, and the medical staff, and we got some of the best in the business here, and you lean into those expertise. We've been building this thing as we go. These practices get harder and harder every day, and we'll get to a point where it's not going to feel comfortable at all, and they got to push through it, and then we'll protect them and get them ready to go, because ultimately what's most evaluated is those Sundays in the fall, and certainly in August it'll start that way.
And the last thing, I reflect on a lot of guys that we've talked to on our tour that are first-year head coaches, and I'm always interested in what they've learned since taking the job that they weren't expecting. Again, I reflect on Mike Zimmer, who said, the meetings with the owner, the media responsibilities.
Yeah.
Sitting
Yeah.
here with us. I mean, you take over and you think you know it. What to you has been the thing that you said, boy, I wasn't ready for that?
Yeah, I think just the daily media responsibilities are obviously a little different from the coordinator perspective, and and just the logistics of just getting everyone on the same page, the operation of training camp when you're traveling to California, when you're dealing with road games, all the little things that come into play there. You just got to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, you don't get to squirrel yourself away and just focus on your one side of the football
Yeah.
anymore.
No.
Now you're responsible for the whole roster.
Yep, but it's been great. It's a great organization. We're going to do some great things.
And Kellen, thanks for stopping by. Good luck in your first year with this football team.
All right, thank you so much, guys.
All right, that was Saints head coach Kellen Moore yesterday at Saints training camp. And, look, he is
My voice sounded a lot different.
What?
My voice sounded a lot different in that interview.
Oh, you sounded like you were Bruce Murray, who lives up
Yeah, I
in
was
New
like,
York,
who
and
is this guy?
Chicago.
New Orleans.
Yeah, Bruce Murray went to Tulane. Like, he actually went to school.
There's no way.
He did. No, he went to school. He's had, like, some of his children have gone to school there as well. He said it in a way that
He went to Tulane
Yeah.
and said New Orleans.
I know. I didn't like yesterday. Like, he said it one time, and I when he would say it, I kept saying New Orleans. Like, after him, like, see if he pick
Yeah,
up.
that was good.
It's okay. He's a great guy. Does a great job.
At least he didn't say New Orleans.
Yeah.
Kellen kind of got uncomfortable when he said, "Name your starting quarterback."
Yeah.
It was like,
you should have been there, like, to see Kellen's face.
Yeah.
As awkward as it felt there as well. But that's why I asked him the question and kind of posed it the way, like, you've had different quarterbacks. Like, Dak's never going to be confused for Herbert. Herbert's not going to be confused for Jalen. But all three have been successful. We talked about that, what was that, yesterday or 2 days ago?
Me and Matt talked about it yesterday too. Where it was like, that's why I trust
we get
Kellen.
it, the tripod, guys.
No,
We get it.
I think he's actually kind of
being
hurt.
jealous.
He's kind of hurt.
But
I mean, I've seen it everywhere, guys.
well, no, we were talking about like, look, Kellen Moore doesn't have the experience as being a head coach, but you kind of got to blindly trust him when it comes to offense because of what he's done. And like Herbert has been good even without Kellen Moore, but like before Kellen Moore, after Kellen Moore, look at what kind of quarterback Justin Herbert was.
yeah.
I mean, I get him being a rookie and all that. I understand that, but Jalen hurts you in the Super Bowl. Dak hasn't been the same since Kellen Moore left. I mean, there's something to this.
Yeah, it is. But also, like, all of those guys being different, that's the best part
Yeah.
about it. Because if it was three of the same quarterback, you'd be like, I don't really know. I don't know if the Saints have that guy on the roster. But three different skill sets where they've thrived
Yeah, and I guess
with
Dak
Kellen
and
as
Herbert are the most
coordinator.
similar, but they are certainly not the same
Right.
guy
Yeah, I mean,
at
there's-
all.
Like, Dak's talented, but there's throws that Herbert can make that Dak just can't.
Yeah.
And there's things that Dak can do that Herbert can. But they're all
Is
three
there?
get injured. There's three different quarterbacks, and like Jalen Hurts, he doesn't have the same skill set as those other guys, but he created an offense around him that was the best case scenario. They did great things in the run game with Saquon Barkley. And I asked Alvin yesterday, I'm like, hey, like, you watched that tape last year, like with what he was doing with Saquon, and you've already sent that film to him, like saying we need to do this. He goes, the second day. He's like, the second day. I'm like, hey, like, I saw y'all do this with Saquon. Like, let's put this in. So it's not only the quarterback position, it's looking at the totality of what I have in front of me and what can I do to make the best version of this. Like, whatever this is, like, I got to make the best version knowing the skill that I have. And, like, I asked him about the tight end position because I think if fully healthy, like, you can be good. But right now, it's a lot of guys that none of us would know if we didn't cover the Saints every day. Right? It's a lot of names that, even like a good fan, not even a casual fan, is like, who? Who are we talking about? But you could see yesterday at practice that they were trying to integrate some different things to try to hide the position a little bit until their guys get back. Because, like, why am I going to be 12 personnel heavy? Alondra can tell you what that is later on. If I don't have two good tight ends, right? But if I get False Moreau back, if Juwan Johnson does, who got nicked up again yesterday, and Taysom comes back, like, okay, then we can do some of those things. But why am I going to say, well, this is how I've always done it, this is what I'm going to do, when you ain't got the Jimmys and Joes to do it?